I've been thinking a lot about this, and if I don't do it today, I'm gonna chicken out and I'm never gonna do it. Kaden, a subscriber who asked me how did I know that I wanted to be a transman and how did the come out progress go for me. I'm gonna pick the scariest moment because coming out is a journey, right? I didn't just wake up one day knowing that, hey, I like to change from being a girl to being a boy, and I wanted to fall in love with a girl instead of falling in love with a guy. There are many things that contribute to the coming out journey, but the hardest and the scariest part was coming out to my family, in particular, my grandparents. Because the very first person I came out was a close family member. I love her to death, so I shared with her. But she told me that if I come out, my grandparents gonna die. And they gonna die because of me. I was only a 13 years old kid. I guess I was looking for love and support, but that's what I got. So, of course, I didn't come out at that moment. And that her word became this giant black rock. It's huge and it's pointy and it's dark, but I have to swallow that rock, swallow it down my throat, into my chest, and it's stuck there. It's so big that it's stuck there, and what the hell happened since, right? Now I'm 25 years old. I came out. What happened to me, what happened to my grandparents, I'm gonna tell you in this video. In hope that if you're in that dark moment right now, this somehow could help you feel less lonely. I really don't know what I'm doing, but I really wish someone had told me that. I'll be okay. Oh, hey friend, if you're new here, my name is Nuri. I'm a trans man studying positive psychology at UCSD. Okay, back to the story. How I know I wanted to be a boy was when I first came to kindergarten. That was the first time I see other kid. As the only child, I've never seen other babies, right? But then I see that, wait, why are these boys look so pretty? Why am I ugly? Why can't I look like that? Why can't I be pretty too? Yeah, I realized there's a mismatch in what I look like and how I truly want to be looking like. And then fast forward to first or second grade, I moved to the state with my mom. She got married, so we moved here. That's when I realized, hey, this is a new country. Nobody know who I am. I can start dressing like a boy. So that's what I did, right? Which I also got bullied for because I still have long hair and I still look like a girl. So people start asking me if I was a boy or a girl, and they make fun of me in middle school. But that's a story for another day. Then I met a girl who I wanted her to be my girlfriend, and it happened. So that confirmed everything. All my doubts gone. I for sure know that I wanted to be a guy. I wanted to have a girlfriend. That's the only girl or the only one that I'm feeling attracted to, not guy. Yeah. Then of course I wanted to tell my family now that I am 100%, not 100%, probably 90% sure. Of course I trying to be normal. Of course I trying to change as much as I can, but nothing work. And I know for a fact that's just me. I didn't even know the word trans man back then. I just know that I wanted to look like a boy. I wanted to fall in love with a girl. That would make me the happiest person that I could be. That's all I know, okay? And like I said, I told my family member, and she told me that if I tell my grandparents that, they would die. They either would die because it's such a huge shock, or they would die from being shamed by other people. But what really happened? Did my grandparents die? Did I have the gut to come out? Fast forward to being 21 years old. So that's almost 10 years later. At that point, I have completely drowning in pain, knowing that I will never be able to come out. I will be the reason why my grandparents die. So I tried to pretend to be a girl. Every time I go home, I would wear a wig. I would dress like a girl, go home and go back to Vietnam, right? Because right now I'm living in California, which is my mom. Thankfully, my mom doesn't force me to dress any certain way. My mom let me be a boy however I want, as long as I go out there, get a job, and buy my own clothes. I don't want to bore you with all the detail. But yeah, I stopped coming home to my family in Vietnam because dressing as a girl is killing me. I really genuinely wanted to be loved by who I am. So I start hiding. There will be less call, less connections, and eventually I don't call and I don't go home for 3 years, which is killing me because I miss my grandparents a lot. I would cry when I go to a supermarket and I saw an Asian old lady that looked like my grandma. At this point, I'm 21 years old. I still have that black rock in my chest. I started to have a lot of heart attack. I would feel pain in my chest at night before sleep, and sometimes it get to the point I can't breathe. I have to go to the ER. They scan me, they scan everything. This EKG, whatever that call, and they also do a bunch of tests, but they couldn't find a rock in my chest. I was telling them it hurt so much. Of course, I told my primary doctor what's happening too, and after months of not finding out what wrong, he started to think that it was stress, and I was like, no way it was stress. Like, I'm not stressed. So he suggests therapy. I went to therapy reluctantly, right? I didn't know about mental health. Growing up Asian kid, we don't really talk about mental health. I don't know what mental health is. If I don't feel good, I just suck it up inside, right? At least that was I was growing up. Can't say for all the Asian, I can only say for mine. Then eventually my therapist realized how much pain I was in every time I talk about wanting to come out to my grandparents and all the family in Vietnam and stop hiding, because even though I keep distance with them, it kills me. I don't go to my own high school graduation, middle school graduations, because I don't want to feel like my family is not there. Any event that has to do with family, I would avoid. I've never been to any graduation in my entire life. How ridiculous is that? Just because it breaks my heart every time I realize that I cannot talk to my family because I have not come out yet. I wish I could have been to a graduation just for the kids, but yeah, it's all in the past now. If you are in that point, you're not too late. You got this. So my therapist is asking me, why do I not come out yet? Even though it's brought me so much pain, including a heart attack. I called it heart attack back then because my heart hurts. But now I think it called panic attacks. Whatever that was. It was scary as hell. So I told my therapist exactly that. I'm scared that I will be the reason that my grandparents die. And I'm scared that I'll put them in so much suffering and pain that they don't deserve. I wish for them to only be happy and healthy, of course. That's all. So then my therapist asked me 2 things. 1, do you really think that they're happy that their grandchildren never come home, never call? Do you think they're really happy? Have they ever told you that they're happy? No, I don't think they were happy. They actually told my mom that they miss me and they wish that I call them and I visit soon. Then the next question my therapist asked me was, okay, so now that you know they're not really happy like you thought they would, and the only reason why you don't do anything about this was because you're afraid that you coming out as a trans man would kill them. Now, I wanted to ask, do you really think this way? Do you think that out of the 5 grandchildren that they have, if this one, you, came out, would take such a big impact that they would physically die? Or that they would be so shameful that they would die from it? Do you really think that it was possible, realistically? And I said, no, I think it'd be ridiculous and unrealistic. But I'm still really scared that it'll be true. So she said, true. Let me tell you what is true right now. What you are imagining as such a painful thing that's going to happen, that's going to kill your family, that you call truth, versus many visit to the ER because your chest hurts so much. many breakdown in this therapy session, saying how much you miss them. The fact that you can't even go to your own graduation. The fact that you would cry your eye out if you see someone look similar to your grandparent at a grocery store. Which one is true pain? Of course I said it was mine. I didn't understand her question. So she said, so you're trying to avoid an imaginary pain at the cost of real pain, right? The pain that you're suffering from having these panic attacks and how much you miss your family and you couldn't talk to them for 3 years. And your grandparents are telling your mom that they miss you. That's all real pain too. So we all suffering in hope to avoid an imaginary pain. Was it worth it, Nuri? Holy like at that moment, I blew my mind, okay? She blew my mind because yes, I was suffering, we're all suffering for some imaginary pain that I have a way to put an end to. Even though the chances of me coming out to my family and getting accepted and loved from them, to me, it would be 0.000000001%. Okay? Yes, even it's such a low chance, it's still better than all of us suffering right now. And I actually at that point was worried that I might die from the heart attack because no doctor can find what's wrong. So before I die, I wanted to be able to connect with my grandparents, show them the real grandchild, and at least have a slight chance of getting to know them and they getting to know me at least once. No matter how bad or scary it would be, it's still my way to connect with them. So I wish I can tell you that at that moment I came out right away. I just realized for sure I would do this. Then it's take another 3 months and I still cannot bring myself to make that call or text them. So during one therapy session, I told my therapist that I have to do it here right now. If I leave the room, I will not be able to do it. I will chicken out. So yeah, in that small room, 4 wall, low light, warm, very warm light. I remember exactly. I was sitting on this blue couch. I sent my grandparents a text. I sent everyone in that's my family a text saying, "Hi, this is me. I'm sorry that I haven't been home for 3 years. Let me tell you exactly why. And I am scared, so after this text, I will shut down my phone and hide. But this is my only way to connect with you." I told my grandparents that I don't feel I continue putting on a wigged dress just so I can see them. Because that is not who I am, and it would kill me every time I visit. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be a boy. I want to show them that I did not do anything wrong. I wanted to love someone that I love, and she could be a girl. And that's nothing wrong, and I understand. If they don't understand, that's okay. Can I still be that grandchild? Can I still call them looking like this? Can I still visit home looking like this? Because I really miss them. In the past 3 years, tear a hole in my heart that I wanted to refill that hole with love with them. And then I couldn't send a text, so I asked my therapist to hit the button send for me. As soon as that text was sent, I fell onto the floor and I started laughing like crazy. I'm telling you, crazy. My therapist wasn't sure what to do. I felt like all of a sudden I was on cloud. Like I was lifted, I was elevated, I was free. I don't know if you have this feeling that you're so free that you thought you were flying on a cloud. But that was the only time I've ever felt it. And it's completely different from what I expect. I would be so scared I'll crawl into a ball, right? I will hide if there's a closet. I would physically hide inside that closet, but no. I just laying there laughing on the floor, feeling like I was in the sky, on a cloud, free to be exactly who I am. Exactly who I am. At that point, it didn't matter how they would respond. For some reason, I swear to God, I don't know why. I felt like did not matter what they would respond. I told my therapist the fact that I have the gut to stand up for myself, to say this, to say, I am not a girl. I want to be live as a boy. I am in love with a girl. I'm going to be a man, a trans man. I did that for myself. Like, at that moment, I felt this love for the first time. Now I know it called self-love. Back then I did not know. I felt I just gave myself a hug that I should have given myself 8 years ago at age 13. At that moment when someone told me that me coming out would kill my grandparent, I owed myself that hug. And I did now. So let's talk about how my grandparents react. I got out of my therapy room. I ran home. Finally have the gut to turn on my phone, but no notification whatsoever. I guess because it goes nighttime in Vietnam, right? A couple hours later, I got a message from my grandpa. He's saying that, child, I don't understand this, but I want you to know that. I want you to know that you've suffered enough. It is your time to be happy. My grandpa said that. Of course, thankfully, he did not die. He also said, Grandma doesn't understand either. They just want me to know that they want me home. They're so proud of me for working hard, supporting myself all these years, and still going to school. And with this pain, I am still a good kid. Yeah, that's what my grandparents said. You know what I think? At that moment, I wish I have came out 8 years ago. I wish I get to spend time with them. I wish I did not have held back from an imaginary pain because they're not getting younger and I cannot have those 8 years back. I know I'm not in a position to give anyone any advice. Every situation is different, every family is different. But if you're watching this, and the only thing that you take away is I hope that you don't let your imaginary pain take away years of time with your grandparents, your family, your dad, your mom. I know I was really lucky. I know I was fortunate. And I full-heartedly hope the same for you. Now sitting here, 25 years old, my coming out is still not fully finished. It's never finished, I swear. I still have people asking me if I'm a boy or a girl. I still have people that don't accept and don't understand me. And I have people who fully accept, understand, and love me. It's a journey, and you're not lonely. We're in this together. Thank you so much for watching, and especially Kaden. Thank you for asking the questions and giving me the courage to make this video.